Good evening everybody and welcome. My name is King Condor, but some of you call me Paul. Today I will be discussing the new client features news post that Jagex has recently released, as well as briefly recapping some of the videos I've put out on this topic and the tasty video that came out recently, followed by some information that has been given to me from some current and past JMods who have asked for their details to not be disclosed in this video for obvious reasons. I probably could have gotten some more information out of them when I was invited to go and test Raids 3 Tombs of Azmakam. However, there was a scheduling conflict and a communication error on Jagex's behalf, so I wasn't able to make it, unfortunately. But that's not going to stop me from using clean, cut, unscripted content when it comes to sending a fucking video like this. Fishy merch is available in the description below. I'm a massive cunt. Going through the video, if you have any questions about what you might see here, or if you're not too sure, leave them in the comment section below. I'll try to get to answer as much of them as I can. If there is a lot of comments, I might try to do another video on it, kind of, I guess, going through that and having a discussion. Leave a like if you do enjoy the content, and subscribe if you've got a big dick. I'm going to cut straight to the chase with the title of the video. What if Runelite disappeared? That's why you're all here. You want to know what the fuck I'm talking about. There's a short answer, which is it will eventually. And then there's the long answer, which I'm going to dive into now. There are two audiences that we're going to find in the comment section down below. One audience will be relatively open-minded, doesn't have to agree with everything I'm saying, but willing to take in the information and, I guess, believe what you will from what you hear. The other side of the audience will be the whole, you're dick riding Jagex, fuck Jagex, threatening to submit me inside the octagon within 30 seconds, which has happened once. I then retaliated by offering to box them, and they are too pussy to respond, and that's okay. You can't please everyone. Now, there are numerous videos on my channel that do cover these subjects over the past, I want to say 6 to 8 months. I don't have the numbers on me right now physically. Those links will be in the description if you want to go into more information and see how they stack up with this video today, along with Tasty's video, which isn't completely related to this subject, but it does cover a few grounds of, I guess, I want to say plugins that, I guess, cover the gray area of cheat clients and when and where they can be acceptable. Starting with what's happening with the current Steam client, the C++ client, we're going to relate to it as the Steam client, whether it's on Steam or not. That client will eventually come to the new launcher, which I'm sure you've all heard about by now, and that is what Jagex is currently focusing on for the future of this game. If you don't know, the developer of Runelite is actually helping and working with Jagex to develop Runelite plugins and bring them over to the Steam client. And for those who have used the Steam client, or even if you play on mobile, you can see the difference between the plugins from Runelite to the Steam client. I personally believe the Steam client, it looks a lot better. When the plugins are moved over, they're much more refined. It's in a better condition. It's neat. It just looks better. And the best part is the Steam client is server-sided. So for example, when you go to Chambers of Xeric, you will never have an unknown slot in your raids. When you're scouting a raid, you will always know exactly what you have because the client is communicating with the server directly. As for Runelite, it's just on your client side where it's trying to guess what you have based on your map layout. Along with other topics, people are concerned about things like the clue scroll helper, the quest helper, and then you have obviously some gray area cheat plugins, which by definition they are cheat clients and they are cheat plugins because Jagex has denied them. Your def animation plugin. Now, for the clue scroll helper is actually coming very soon to the new Steam client, which is fucking huge, and I think it's great. Along with the quest helper, some people are concerned we're not going to have that when Jagex takes over. You will. Every MMORPG on the internet has a quest helper, except RuneScape, except old school RuneScape. RS3 fucking has one. We'll be getting one. Don't worry, Jagex won't do that to you. You're fine. And then you have the death animation plugin, which is why Tasty's video is kind of related to this video, the way he discussed it. We have unofficial confirmation from very reliable sources, not just myself, but other content creators and people who aren't in the content creator circle, but are in specific discords, have been confirmed by very reliable sources that we will have the death animation plugin or a version of it. It won't be exactly what it is that a lot of the cheaters are using at the moment. However, you will be allowed to click through dead NPCs. I don't believe it's going to be until the Steam client. You might have to use the Steam client for it, which makes sense from even just a coding point of view. That feature will be here, whether it's at full release of the client or not. What is going to happen in the future is that when the old school team are happy with this Steam client, when we as a community are happy with the Steam client, and we will be, I can guarantee you it's going to be better than Runelite. There will be a point where we go, they've got an open hub. I hope to God they have an open hub where you can submit your own plugins and then they can review and knock back and say, this is why we can't have this plugin, this is what we can have. That way there's community interaction. We have a full flowing C++ client that is smooth, it's clean, and they can work with it, and we can have a lot less fucking rollbacks because the code isn't a shitstorm. This is the end game for Jagex when it comes to just having a client. Eventually, the client will be at a point where the community will go, all right, we like it. A doomsday clock will start just like it did with RS3. Before it was RS3, it happened before. It happens with pretty much any MMORPG. There'll be a cutoff time. Let's say every time you log in, there'll be a timer, a 6-month timer. After that 6 months, Java clients will no longer have access to the servers. It'll get cut. I can't tell you when that'll happen. It's likely going to be about 1.5 years, maybe 2 years from now. It depends how much they want to progress, how much time they put into working on this client, and how much we want, how much we expect from this client as a community, which is honestly quite a bit because Runelite is quite a... It's a fucking staple for the game. It did save the game. Runelite and Iron Man are the two things that kept old school RuneScape alive to the point that it's at now. This client needs to be as good as Runelite. And I'm confident it will be. And that's not me riding the dick of Jagex. If you have a valid argument as opposed to that, then by all means, please do. But if you're unsure, go play RuneScape free for 30 seconds. I know it's fucking dog shit, but their client is pretty fucking good. It's just, if they copy and paste, why reinvent the wheel? That is all going to be happening, I predict, personally, 2 years before the Doomsday Clock starts. That's my official prediction from June the 1st, 2022. 2024 June, before then, at the absolute latest, we will have a Doomsday Clock of, I'm going to say 6 months, it could be any fucking time, for Java to be cut. It could happen before, it could happen later. So what does having one sole client for the game actually mean? Well, typically you would have less bots. It's not going to stop botting. It's not, you can never stop botting. It's not possible. You can prevent botting, you can restrict it, and you can slow down, you can seize the means of production, if you will. Now, people are already botting on the Steam client server. It's almost fucking obvious that's happening, but nothing was worse for old school RuneScape than when Runelite was open source and bots just fucking flooded into the game like there's no fucking tomorrow. I mean, Mod Matt K has spoken about it. He fucking still speaks about it today on his own live streams if people ask him. Runelite becoming closed source did cap that, but we got a lot of bots in this game. Whether you think bots are bad, I personally believe bots are bad, but they're good for the economy at the same time. For example, how many times do you go to the Grand Exchange and you're just thankful that there's always fucking fire runes available, there's always Zora scales available, there's always fucking logs available. You're never short on really consistent and heavily botted items because bots just fucking flood the Grand Exchange. So there is a positive side to it. It is of course bad for the game in every other fucking aspect, and if Jagex is able to narrow down the game to literally one client, you have to be using the Steam client through either Steam or through the launcher, it will be a lot easier for them to detect what's botting, who's botting, how are they botting. I should probably talk about the news post as well. They have obviously, like I said, announced the Clue Scroll Helper, which is coming soon, along with activity trackers as well for things like Herbivore, other hunter tasks. Anyway, when you're tracking, I believe Tears of Guthix is on there. There's something else as well that I can't fucking remember. Barbarian Assault maybe. I'm not sure. They've got a bunch of trackers that they're trying to enable onto the Steam client, and eventually they're going to have ground items with like the information and everything like you have with Runelite, and hopefully soon NPC tile markers, just because it's really fucking helpful for things like Venenatus and Hunlif, and maybe I'm just fucking garbage. Which brings me to I guess the final summary of the long answer for what if Runelite disappeared, and the answer is, if the client they're proposing to us, in the Steam client, in the new launcher, if it's secure, if they're able to fix their security and it's running just as good, if not better than Runelite, and who gives a fuck? I appreciate your time watching this video, guys. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you did enjoy the content. It was a little more, I guess, serious than my usual meme. It's just unscripted bullshit. I'm hoping that looks good when I edit it. Drop a comment below if you have any opinions on, or questions, or I guess counter arguments to what I've said, and I can do another video if you guys really want me to. My name is King Condor, and I approve this message. Now fuck off. This is the easiest room in the raid. It's quite simple. You got a big boy. Look at him. God damn. Fuck me. Look at that boy. It's huge.